Hello students, we are going to deal with determination of calorific value by Baum calorimeter. First of all, you need to know what is calorific value. The calorific value of any fuel is the total quantity of heat liberated when a unit mass or unit volume of fuel is burnt completely. Now this is again divided in high calorific value or gross calorific value and low calorific value or net calorific value. What is the basic difference between both these values? If the unit mass or unit volume of fuel is burned completely and the products of combustion are allowed to cool till room temperature as the container is covered with a lid, then it is known as high calorific value or gross calorific value. And whereas if you open the container and the products of combustion are allowed to cool in the allowed to escape in the atmosphere, then it is known as low calorific value or net calorific value. How we can determine the calorific value of any fuel? It can be determined by theoretical way as well as by experimental way. The theoretical way is using Dulong's formula that will deal in any other session, and the experimental value can be determined by two methods. First, for solid and liquid fuels, that is by Baum calorimeter, and for gaseous fuel by Junkers calorimeter. In this section, we are dealing with calorific value of solid fuels using a Baum calorimeter. First of all, what is the principle? As you all know that we can calculate the amount of heat liberated by Q is equal to ms delta T. You all have studied in 12th class that the heat liberated is mass multiplied by specific heat multiplied by delta T, that is difference in temperature, initial and final temperature. Here we are taking consideration of this principle only. The principle is based on concept of heat liberated by the fuel is heat absorbed. Since we can directly cannot measure the fuel calorific value directly by just putting a thermometer in the burning fuel, so we have used this concept. For implementation of this concept, we are using a Baum calorimeter. Why it is known as Baum calorimeter? Because it has a central stainless steel Baum, which is exactly similar to a stainless steel glass, but having a more strength and threshold limit than the regular glass. It is very thick and having a capability of withstanding high temperature and pressure. It is provided with two electrodes made up of platinum or stainless steel, and these two electrodes are connected with a 6-volt battery. At the lower end, these electrodes are connected to a ring where we place a crucible in which a known quantity of fuel is put in. This fuel is connected to the electrode by using a fuse wire. The fuse wire is made up of magnesium or sometimes platinum also. This stainless steel Baum is then covered with a copper calorimeter which is filled with water. That is again a measured quantity, and we are using the term capital W for that. This whole apparatus is placed in an airtight jacket which is used for inhibition of radiation from the atmosphere to the equipment and from the equipment to the atmosphere. It is provided with the air jacket, air insulation, and for further protection a more water jacket. This is also a airtight lid. Now when you have to operate this Baum calorimeter, we just pass oxygen inside the stainless steel Baum for combustion of fuel and then put the battery on. This fuse wire burns the fuel completely, and whatever amount of heat is liberated here is absorbed in the water present in the copper calorimeter outside the stainless steel Baum. This stainless steel Baum is provided with a mechanical stirrer so that the whole water is heated uniformly. The increase in temperature, how it is noted? Before experiment we measure the temperature T1, and after the experiment it is measured by T2, because the whole apparatus is completely cooled down till room temperature. So we will get the temperatures initial and final. It is measured by using Beckmann's thermometer. What is the property 1 by 100th of any degrees. That means its least count is 0.01. So this has a important special feature. Now how we can derive the formula by calculating HCV? As we all know, Q is equal to ml delta T, and in this case, what is if W is weight of water taken in calorimeter, small w is water equivalent, T2 is final temperature, T1 is initial temperature, X is weight of coal, L is high calorific value. High calorific value, that means X into L. If L is calorific value, then X will be weight of coal, and if both are multiplied, then we will get the total amount of calorific value received. So XL will be equal to heat liberated, and this will be equal to Ms delta T, that means the heat absorbed. If we derive it for X, what do we get? X is equal to capital W plus W plus multiplied by T2 minus T1 divided by L. How it came out? M means mass. Mass is mass of water taken, which is capital W plus small w. Why is it so? Because capital W is weight of water taken in calorimeter. Water equivalent is, if we skip the whole instrument, then what amount of water will be equal to the instrument? This is known as water equivalent, because the heat liberated is absorbed by the apparatus also, and we are losing that heat in calculation. Therefore, we have to add the actual amount equal to that apparatus. Therefore, we have written it as W plus W. Now, similarly, it is multiplied by T2 minus T1, because both will have a same temperature increase, T1 to T2. Therefore, we have the rise in temperature T2 minus T1, or we can write it as delta T divided by L. Now, whenever we do a bomb calorimeter experiment, then we are taking a fuel which contains C, H, O, N and S. That means it contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon and hydrogen burn with the help of oxygen and additional amount of oxygen to CO2 and H2O, whereas the nitrogen and sulfur, they produce oxides of nitrogen and oxides of sulfur. Both these oxide formation is due to exothermic reaction, and this again adds up to the calorific value. This calorific value is additional amount, so we have to subtract this amount in the total answer. So L now becomes capital W plus W, T2 minus T1 plus dt. dt is cooling correction minus acid plus fuse wire correction. This is acid correction due to N on S, which are forming H2SO4 and HNO3, and this magnesium fuse wire, this also adds up to the calorific value by burning, so this is also subtracted. And why we add dt? Because this is cooling correction, and this cooling correction is to be added because there is a difference when T1 reaches to T2 and T2 reaches to T1. Since we are cooling the apparatus till room temperature, so there will be a change in rate which will make the loss of radiation. So it is added in the final formula. Now we will get high calorific value as L is equal to capital W plus W, T2 minus T1 plus dt minus acid plus fuse wire correction. From this value we can find LCV also by subtracting HCV minus 0.09 H. We will get HCV minus 0.09 H. HCV value has been obtained by the experiment, and by subtracting the percentage of hydrogen into 0.9 and multiplication by latent heat of vaporization, we we can calculate the amount of LCV. Thank you so much.